Welcome back. In part 2 of our Getting Started guide, I'm going to show you some of the basic configuration settings for the TimConnect software. I'm going to start by first going back to the standard layout using Tools, Layout, Standard Layout. This is also where you can load and store your own configured layouts if you wish. All of the key settings for the software are stored in the configuration area. You can access this from the Tools menu or by using the hammer and tongs icon on the toolbar. This opens the configuration tabs, which are given various names, and I'll talk through each of them now. Let's start with the General tab. This is for the basic software settings. So for example, you can set the temperature scale, the name of the software, and change the number of frames displayed per second on your screen. If your computer is struggling for memory, then adjust the optimization slider towards performance rather than quality. The next tab is the measured areas, and this is the one you will use quite often. In this tab, you can configure your measuring areas or regions of interest. Simply click on Add to generate a new measurement area. If Auto Apply is on, you will see them appear in the main screen, and if it's open, also on the temperature time diagram. Each area can be named and its shape can be changed. Let's call this one Hot and use the shape to change it to a single measuring point. I can also make it a hotspot tracker by ticking the hotspot. Note only one hotspot tracker is allowed. You can see it finds the hottest point anywhere within the field of view. Mode allows you to change how the area behaves in terms of finding maximum, minimum or average temperatures of the area. You can also configure it to tell the percentage distribution of temperatures within an area. You can also control what information is displayed on the screen using the label in the image section. You can show the name, its mode of operation, and the measured value. You can even adjust where it's shown in location to the window. It is also possible to make basic calculations between windows using the calculated area function. This gives you functions like comparing one window to another or doing a peak or valley hold function. I shall name the object difference and compare it between area 1 and area 2. You can see the difference displayed in the digital display group. And here we have the comparison between area 1 and area 2. Making a window a main measurement area controls which values are the main display in the screen. Within the field of view will be many different target materials, each of which has its own emissivity. You can configure a window to have its own emissivity value to ensure correct temperatures for that target. material. If you want to be precise with the window positioning, then you also have the ability to enter the coordinates directly into the software. The next tab is the temperature profile tab, which is just another way of configuring the horizontal and vertical cross-section lines that featured in the standard layout. You can also show them in the image from here. A possible useful function, if looking on a continuous process, is to bind a number of measuring windows to the profile line. Here I can select a different number of measuring areas, so in this case 5, and when I click on Create, select for temperature profile 1, click on Create, you'll see I will get 5 equally spaced windows across the temperature profile line. These are also now shown in the measured areas, so I can remove them from here. The next tab is the temperature time diagram, where each area created can be selected or not, and the colour of the line adapted. Note that data can only be saved from the temperature time diagram while it is displayed on the screen. If you want to save your temperature time diagram, go to File, Save Temperature Time Diagram Data. You can then save it as a DAT file for export or import into Excel. The next tab is the Device tab. Use this to control the flag, confirm the optics used with the camera, and to set the temperature range. For long wavelength cameras, there are 3 ranges as standard: -20 to 100 degrees, 0 to 250 degrees, and 150 to 900 degrees. If available, you can also use the extended temperature function to show temperatures below 150 degrees for sighting purposes. You are also able to set the emissivity, which applies for the whole image, and if you're looking through an infrared window, you can set the transmission correction value here too. The next tab is the Device Process Interface tab, which is the process interface connection configuration. This is the second hardware connection on the camera. Use this to configure external inputs and outputs with the camera. The Referencing tab is mainly used for fever screening applications. The Recording tab allows you to set parameters for recording the radiometric videos. Use these settings to control how large the video files can get by adjusting the recording frame rate. I recommend to use skipping and a lower frame rate, especially for long videos. The Playing tab allows for adjustment of the video playback. Adjusting the play rate is very useful for understanding fast processes. You can even change the emissivity values used on the video playback. IR image arranging allows you to tweak and rotate measurement areas. You can also mirror the horizontal and vertical axes, especially useful in case the camera is mounted upside down. The Alarm tab allows configuration of alarms in the software, and also for sending them to the process interface if used. It is also possible to start a recording or take a snapshot based on an alarm event. Event Grabber is used to freeze the main infrared image for processing, which can be useful for discontinuous processes like bottling lines or injection molding. The data used is only from each frozen image rather than the continual process image. The External Communication tab needs to be activated if you intend to transfer data from TimConnect to an external software package or device. There are examples for this provided with the documentation. Extended Layout allows you to control which layouts are shown with different camera types, and is mostly not relevant for normal users. Snapshots copied to clipboard allows for configuration of snapshot settings, whilst triggered recordings and snapshots allows you to control automatic recording and saving of files. It is even possible to set up timed events. The Capture Screen tab is useful when you want to show someone an infrared video without all the background information. Pressing F7 will start a screen capture of a standard Windows video file, which is much smaller than the radiometric or RAVI files normally created by the software. The Histogram tab allows for adjustment of the settings for the histogram. For example, applying the histogram to a measurement area rather than the whole image. In Extended Measuring, you can control what temperatures are included or ignored by the software. And finally, in Measuring Colours, it is possible to apply different colour palettes or colours based on the measured temperatures. So that concludes our introduction guide to the TimConnect software. There are still many more features to explore, and we will create specific videos for those. So keep an eye out for our next videos. Thank you for watching.